It says 30 years, coupon rate is 8. And what was the price? 105. So 1050 for $1,000 face value. Again, we find the yield that makes the difference between target and the value the same. That's 7.576. So I got two bonds. We will calculate the rates using the market value of the bonds. Total value equals, I have 100 million at 99.2% plus 50 million at 105%. So total market value of these bonds is 151.7 million. Hence, rate of the 5-year bond equals, I have 100 million at 99.2% divided by the total value, and the rate of the 30-year bond. I can simply do 1 minus. Okay. So of my outstanding debt, 65.4% is in the 5-year bond, and the remaining is in the 30-year bond. So this is technically just an estimate. $5.184%, or 5.184. I'm just going to do. It's just the weighted average, okay? If the marginal tax rate for the firm is 29%, then the after-tax cost of debt is simply you've seen all of this in your, or you should have seen all of this in your basic finance class. But sometimes we don't have enough time to actually get there. That's why I'm just going over it. You may not have seen it in your section. I try to cover it, but I don't always reach there. I know most other professors don't even talk about this in basic finance. Hence, in this case, it's 6.0119 times 1 minus 29%. So their after-tax cost of debt is about 427. But it is relatively rare that you have this kind of detailed information unless it's a very large firm with relatively liquid bond issues. Because a lot of the corporate bonds suffer from liquidity issues. When investors buy a corporate bond, especially if it's an investment grade or AA or higher rated, they tend to keep it until maturity. They buy it when it's issued. They buy it for the purpose of keeping it until maturity. So there isn't that much trading going on. Well, if liquidity is not that high, then the price that you get from the market is not that reliable. It could be $100 million issue, but the price that you get is based on $500,000 trading volume. That means, bid offer spreads are going to be high, and that price you get is not reliable. It's not uncommon among corporate bonds that there are days and weeks there is no trade going on. So any price you may have may be stale. It's not like treasury bonds. I mean, there are literally trillions of dollars traded in treasury bonds every day. So any price you get on treasury bonds are very reliable. Unfortunately, that's not the case, what you want to call, on many corporate bonds. If there are not any outstanding or if the price of outstanding bonds are not reliable due to low liquidity, we need to take an alternative approach. Approaches. You need to take one alternative is to find a matching firm that looks a lot like yours in terms of credit quality and estimate their cost of debt pre-tax. You may not have any bonds issued, but maybe there is a competitor of yours that is of similar credit quality and they have bonds. You can estimate your cost of debt thinking, okay, had we issued bonds, market would have priced our bonds pretty much in the same fashion as this firm. So I can go ahead and rely on that firm. However, finding such a matching firm is next to impossible. Hence, not a recommended approach unless there is a natural match. A natural match is kind of a euphemism. You see the firm, you realize, okay, this firm is a lot like ours, but it's going to be rather rare. So then we will use the power of statistics and available estimates of cost of debt for firms within well-defined credit quality ranges. For example, suppose you would want to know how much you would have to pay for a mortgage, right? And you know your credit score, you know your income. I mean, as individuals, you wouldn't have access to this, but if you were a professional firm, you could actually get data on what is the mortgage interest paid by people with a credit score between 650 and 660. Okay, such a number can be easily obtained. Why? Because there are millions of mortgages where credit score is in that range. Take their average. The average is always a pretty good estimate of what you're trying to find. That's what I mean by power of statistics. Find many similar firms in terms of credit quality, or many bond issues, I should say, that has the same, or I should say similar, credit quality as the firm itself, then estimate the average cost of debt for this group. Luckily enough, we actually have pretty much daily data on those things. I mean, publicly available ones are on rough groups. So if your firm is AA rated and you wanted to estimate how much it would cost you to borrow if you chose to do so, it's not particularly that difficult.